Hello, collectors. This is GT here, going away from my regular music videos and taking a look at a figure again. TB League is really come a long way. A lot of you may be familiar with Fison, or however you want to pronounce it, the bodies that they do, just the male and the female bodies, which you can use for whatever purpose. Come a long way since your 1960s G.I. Joes. But this one, about a year or so ago, I got their Athena, and when they came out with the Spartan, I thought it would be nice to get something to match it. Now, this is not an unboxing. This is for somebody that may have bought one of these for the first time. This one was a lot more challenging to me to get it together correctly. And there was a little trick I had to use on one of the parts, and that's mainly what this is about. Here's a nice picture of their box finished. I'm going to swoop up here. I hope this camera angle and everything is good, because this is her right here in her armor and everything. I have Bruce Lee and Catwoman back there and whoever else. I'm moving around a little bit here under the light. Up above, this is the Athena TB League that like I said, got about a year ago, and it was fairly simple to put together. It wasn't much fuss. This one, what I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a helpful hint is on the greaves, because the sandals were already together. Everything else, all this armor was together. I had to add this right here on, which you just take your time, slide it on. Had to do your arm braces, which once again, take your time, slide them on there. This leather leg guard, you have to take it slow and easy to get it right, but take your time. I didn't use a hair dryer. I just went really slow to get that on there. What was fun though are these, these buckles right here. They are actually real working little bitty buckles. Right there, there's a good view of them. And that side is a little bit lopsided. Let me show you the other side. The thing stands up great, as most of your TB League stuff does. It's very well proportioned, very well made. There's the other. Okay, there's a trick to doing this. I actually saw someone's video where they were really doing an unboxing and a showing off and all of that. And I noticed they didn't go all the way through with the buckle straps. Theirs were just, you know, they got it to go through on one end and they didn't come back across. And I can, after just spending an hour and a half on these, you know, I can see why they may not have had the patience at the time to do it. But they are very authentic. I used to do Greek living history for historical studies. Matter of fact, we'll swoop up here. There's my Manning Imperial real bronze helmet. And I do a lot of building and, you know, a lot of collecting as far as TB League and some of the others. I was in the Chattanooga Scale Model Association for a long time, almost 20 years. All right, the tools. Some slobber right in between here to get the tips of these. You get her around here. You got to get the tips of these wet. And I found that one side of the fake leather or real leather, whatever it was a little bit thicker than the other. And these buckles, thank goodness, are pretty sturdy. But you still got to be a little bit tedious about it. Take her and do them before you put them on. The feet do come off. I put them on there and was, you know, going to try to do it with them on her legs. No way. What I used was this little bitty fine needle right here. I don't know what size it is. I don't know anything about it. These were my wives. I just said, hey, I need to borrow a needle. Because I was sitting there trying to do it with my fingers, and there's no way. And I thought about tweezers, and I was afraid I'd break something. So I used these little bitty tiny sewing needles. And what I did was I got a hold of these little buckles and got them at the best position I could, and took the needle, and I would take the needle and put it into, if you can see this, this leather point and work it through. You go in one side and then go in the other. And don't go too tight with them or you won't be able to get them on her legs. You can leave them a little bit loose because you can always pull them tighter. But that is the trick. Use, I just barely use some good old slobber and put them on both sides of the ends of the leather strap. And then I took the needle and just barely poked it in and got it started over on the beginning side first. If you look at it here, I got it on the beginning side first, went up through it, and then I came back through here. You can barely see them there. I actually tried for a second with my smallest pocket knife blade, and I was like, no, I'm afraid I'll break the buckles. And I've still got a little bit of adjustment to get that one straighter because, these kits are really, for what they are not that expensive. The only thing I left off of this one was the little leather thing you can wrap around her leg right here, but I thought it looked better the way it was. But everything on this kit is just really good. I'm not sure exactly which body they use. This is the muscular, probably medium breast body. I've probably got a half a dozen of the different Bison bodies that I've just done self builds with. This is a really neat muscular body, which would represent what you would think a Spartan, because the Spartan women were athletes, they were educated, they knew how to fight. I don't know that they ever would have been in armor, but they may have, who knows. The helmet and everything is really cool. It's an earlier type of helmet. It's got the tall crests. But it's ornamented very well. The armor, the coloring is really good. I think it's a good representation also between the Athena, which is this one, which is all blonde-headed, a little bit of an Asian facial structure, or maybe Russian, which would make sense. The Athena would have been to represent Athens, which would have migrated from northeastern, or your Spartans would have migrated from northwestern. So they would have been closer to, your Scandinavian or Norwegian. So you're going to have your darker hair, your darker eyes. And everything was just really good. The cape was made real well. All the strapping and everything. They've just, to me, I've got a lot of Hot Toys over the years, which has progressed to really nice figures. But I tell you, TB League, to me, is the bodies they've surpassed Hot Toys. The faces, since these are just generic characters, they look really good. The eyes and the facial features. So Hot Toys faces, are usually of somebody in particular, and they've gotten really good at sculpting. But anyway, I just thought that might be a good video for someone that may have one of these. There's actually a black, a red, and a gold Spartan soldier. I like the black because I like the way the armor was. Only thing that surprised me on this is and this is the only little thing that I would probably add in, is it does not have a shield or a spear, and that's actually what they would have used. I think only one of them, I think the red cloaked Spartan, which probably best represents a Spartan, comes with the shield. But most of them just come with swords. This one also came with like a spiked ball thing that Greeks, I don't know, ever used anything like that in battle, so I don't have it on here. But I hope this is helpful. That was the most challenging part, to getting this together. The figure is one of the best ones I've seen come out from anybody here lately. Yeah, the muscular, the legs, the arms, the shoulders, the abs, all of that are just very good representation of what a Spartan would have would have looked like, you know, even the female Spartan athletes. So there you go. Give me some comments. Like I say, I'm usually doing music videos, guitar stuff, but I've done built and collected figures for probably 30 years, and what they're doing now is just so far ahead of what I started out with back in the 60s with G.I. Joes and, you know, Marks, Johnny Western and stuff like that. So anyway, there you go. That's the Black Spartan Commander by TB League. Y'all have a good one.